The minute they do that, you should trigger a call or a text that second to get on the phone with them, because that's the time they're thinking about your product already. They're oftentimes inviting you to contact them, and they have the free time probably to talk to you because they're already engaging with you or your content. All right, what is sales automation and why does every team need it? Let's get geeky for a minute. Let's talk about what the heck sales automation even means, and then we can talk a little bit about why it's so important that every team, including yours, adopts it. I like to break sales automation down into largely two categories. I would say sales automation is either an event takes place that triggers a call or a text or some sales automation, maybe an email, but usually a call or a text in the context we're talking about, or it is a call or a text takes place and then we want to automate some stuff after the fact. So let's cover the first and then we'll cover the latter. So you want an event to trigger a call or a text. And why do you want that in the first place? Well, let's think about it. Most sales sequences that you run across in the SaaS space are sequences that look a little something like this. Day 1, make a phone call. Day 2, I send an email. Day 3, I send a text message. Then I wait. Then day 5, I send another email. Then day 8, I make another call. Then day 10, I send another text message, like that. That's typically how they go. They're very prescriptive, meaning what I do each day is going to be dictated by the day in which it's happening. But when you think about it, there's no real reason that I'm calling somebody Thursday at 2 p.m. in the afternoon and hoping they pick up, other than the fact it happens to be whatever, day 8 in my sequence, right? There's no other intelligent reason I'm making the call at that day, at that time, except that it's just in this arbitrary chronology that I've developed as part of this automation. But what if it looked different? What if that sequence was dynamic instead of prescriptive? Meaning instead, let's use real sales automation so that when an event happens during those 10 days or 8 days or 14 days, that event is triggering a call or a text because it indicates, it's indicia that the person is more likely to answer the call or a text, which is what we want to have happen in the first place, right? The reason we're making these calls and texts is to try and get a hold of this person. If we're calling on day 8 or texting on day 12, it's because we didn't get a hold of them for the first 10 or 11 days, right? And we're still trying to get a hold of them. So what we want is every advantage we can to get that person on the phone. And luckily, you have access to so much technology out there today. You have technology that can tell you when they've opened an email, when they visited your website, when they filled out gated content on your website, when they've texted you. All of these are great examples of an action happening that should trigger a sales automation. Meaning, when they download that gated content from your website, or they fill out that form that says contact us, the minute they do that, you should trigger a call or a text that second to get on the phone with them, because that's the time they're thinking about your product already. They're oftentimes inviting you to contact them, and they have the free time probably to talk to you because they're already engaging with you or your content at that moment. But what most people do is they use lazy automation, if you want to even call it automation at all. That event happens, they start downloading your content on Wednesday, and you don't call them on Wednesday, you don't call them on Thursday, you wait until Friday or day 10 of your sequence, and then you send them that damn email just because that's what's prescribed in the sequence that you built ahead of time. So instead, let's use sales automation to trigger the call or trigger the text the second that event occurs and maximize the chance of them picking up the phone or responding to that text. So it can look instead something like this. Day 1, send them an email. Day 2, send them a text. Day 3 or 4 or 5, whenever they open that email, guess what? That email open, boom, triggers another call from your rep to them that second. And let's say worst case scenario, let's say they don't answer. Well, let's let our automation drop an automatic voicemail, which you can do on Kixie, and then send a follow-up text. And now when they reply to that text, that could be the trigger for the second phone call. Because when they reply to your text, you know they're at their phone that second texting you. So that's a great time to call them. That's a true sales automation. And that's a sales automation that is an example of an event occurring, then triggering a call or a text and maximizing your rep's ability to get a hold of that prospect, which is the whole point of sales and the whole point of automation in the first place. Let's talk about the second type. Second type is a call or a text occurs and we want to automate some other stuff. Well, this gets into the reality of what a day in the life of your sales rep or you looks like. And I would venture to guess that you or your sales rep spend about 50, maybe 60% of your time doing the things that really move the needle, making the calls, having the conversations, negotiating the contracts, that kind of stuff. But the other 40 to 50% is doing really administrative work. It's the work typically you and your reps hate doing. It's the work that typically you and your reps weren't really hired to do. It's not necessarily something you have a great skill set at. And it's stuff that's really not moving the needle in a revenue perspective. It might be generating metrics or taking notes or setting calendar events. It's important stuff, but man, if we could automate that, that would be so much better, because that way you and your reps can get back to doing the thing you were actually paid to do, the thing that you guys are good at, and the thing that really moves the needle, which is having more calls, having more conversations, moving more deals forward. So what this looks like is you make a call on a platform like Kixie or any other. You have a conversation with somebody. What typically happens is then after that conversation, you have to go into your CRM or wherever you guys keep your central source of truth, your repository of notes, and then go, okay, I made a call at 11:50, I had this kind of conversation with the person. Oh, he mentioned this and this. What all did he mention? Okay, let me write all that down. And he said to follow up with him Tuesday. Okay, so I'll make a note, call him on Tuesday. Oh, but then also I need to send an email synopsis of what we talked about. So let me make a note, I'll make a task, I'll write an email synopsis, I'll send that to him 2 days from now. Oh, and then shoot, let me make a calendar event also. I wanna call him back like a week from now. Okay, let me get all this done. By the time you're done writing all that in the CRM, you're now finally able to make your next call. What if all of that after call stuff were just automated? Your rep could just click a button, leave a disposition based on how the call went, and some automation took care of all of that. You can do that. Then you should do that. What you can do is you can set up an automation that says when this outcome is logged, I want all the call recording to be automatically logged in the CRM if it isn't already. I want it to automatically move the deal from this stage to this stage. I want to automatically send a synopsis based off of either the AI transcript of the call or whatever notes my rep left. Email that to the contact. I want to automatically text them 2 days from now. And then I also want to maybe call them a week from now. And guess what? If in the interim between now and that call next week, there is any of that activity we talked about just a couple minutes ago, like them downloading content or texting me or opening an email, boom, trigger a call before then. Why wait till next week if they're already engaging with the material before then? That's an example of what sales automation looks like in those two directions, both automating calls or texts based off of events that are happening, and then also automating all the after call busy work that your reps are doing. I think the reasons why you want to do that are pretty obvious, but let's just capture at least the top level stuff. One, it's going to save your reps a ton of time. And time, it's a limited supply. I can't expand the amount of time you have, but I can expand what you can do during that time by automating a lot of the busy work your reps don't want to do. Second, it's accurate and it's reliable. I want to bet everyone here who's managed a rep or even been a rep yourself, if I ask you, have there been times when you did not so great a job at taking notes or not so great a job at making tasks in order to call the person back or sending that follow-up email? We can probably all raise our hand, right? Like that happens all the time because we're humans and not machines. So why let a human do the stuff that machines are great at doing? Like let the machine do that stuff. Let the automation take care of that busy work and not the rep that you pay to have conversations, not to keep notes. And third, this is gonna happen immediately. The other thing that happens is reps oftentimes are gonna put off that note-taking, they're gonna put off the follow-up call, they're gonna put off all of that administrative work till later in the day when they're done making all their money from their calls. By that point, they're gonna forget a bunch of the notes. The other thing that's gonna happen is, let's say an event occurs, even if your reps see the event occurring, they're not gonna get to it right away. They're gonna get to it whenever they get to it, if they even notice it happening in the first place. So rather than relying on the reps to notice the fact that someone's opened an email and then follow up with them whenever they get around to it, let's automate the call or text the minute that email gets opened to make sure that we have the conversation when the prospect is most ready to have the conversation. So that's it. That's sales automation in a nutshell. If you'd love to learn more about using Kixie and taking advantage of automations just like this, go to Kixie.com and sign up for a free 7-day trial. And if you like this video and you enjoy geeking out with stuff as nerdy as sales automation and dialing telephony systems, then please like and subscribe below, and I'll see you on the next video.